hello, for example, there were demonstrations of threats and suits against people for going against the election, and specifically to prevent individual voices at all locations, areas, and states from demonstrating all the ways there are to demonstrate complete remote possession of the complete criminal and foreign influence premises treatments of both political parties and of the exceptions and exception nature associated with that, where and how they have the natural system in demonstration to us, prevented free speech, prevented equality of free speech. On NBC, for example, there's a guy who said that President Obama told him, for example, he said, for example, if people don't want to agree that there's an environmental problem, you can't communicate with them. In other words, it's supposed to be referred to as a nature problem if everyone was honest. But no one's had the honesty to deal with the most sacred things that we had a breaching method not allow us to deal with, fact treatment nature-wise, identity-wise. This is a method that exploits identities, value/value progression, and that's not only the problem at the border. That's the problem with /S. For this system, I'm using with my logic, is the one why we are individual as an identity of volume, where value is nature/nature is value, and how we are grouped: areas, locations, ages, sexes, physical differences in demonstration. All the different things it is at the same time demonstrates what it is. At the same time, it demonstrates one identity of simultaneous natures, identity of relationship to itself, and that further positive or negative. That further positive or negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures revealed here as evolution's fruits and gifts and means out of nowhere. For example, where we are, fact treatment nature as quality. Quality, again, is identity's relationship to positive and negative simultaneously, and to the hyper-positive. That will only stay positive unto itself, and as itself as the identity of simultaneous nature that science demonstrates. When we don't use its system, what is positive unto it, and as its system, which uses exceptions, no. And we use exception nature, that are really only in demonstration of the same thing, which is, for example, Earth's distinct, non-distinct, and simultaneous relationship to the rest of space nature, where we have consciousness, where 3 years equals 1,095 days, where our value is constantly adding to that value, that concentrated value of Earth, as a quality of diffusion. That is 3 bound identities of sequence/simultaneous nature. Only the extent of this is debatable. For example, the 5 identities, distinct identities of sequence/simultaneous nature that are positive to the overall identity of a plant. A tomato plant, for example, the cells. There's cell body, cell nucleus, and cell walls. And so know how the cell walls share what makes up the body, a whole bunch of cells. What makes up the parts of the body, a whole bunch of cells sharing cell walls. So these are 5 identities, because we know water and its elements, and we know gases and its elements. See, humanity needs a mixture of carbon gases and of oxygen to breathe. In other words, we have a nature problem, and you can't deal. No one can deal with the nature problem until we deal with how, since before our founding parents were born, all identity ground locations were tactically denatured. So nature would demonstrate negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures that they knew fake positive, criminally insidiousness, natures of positive treatments, of premises treatments, identity treatments, title treatments, locations treatments, memory treatments, could not defend themselves in their styles of defending themselves in us here or there, as the nations also blamed countries A, 1 through Z, however many there are a nature of criminal enterprises that is not archetypal, but it is constantly differentially criminally foreign influenced by the same one that's inclusion on off campuses and job sites with timed instances, offensive evidence reception racketeering. We have courts and cases that have certain types of victims, each of the branches experts, the way they were trained, with the way they already did things and recorded and used. Fact-sheeting nature. They can't defend themselves and us at the same time. So we have to deal with how they have this intercampuses, vertical and horizontal connected, including the difference between public schools and private schools. They connect it by methods even to people that understand, they only understand through needing to highlight progressions personally, including our most sophisticated people. This is how we are not allowed to use the revelations about how black and white is used by the people who speak for the law, which is distinct from race now. It's like a overtly / insidiously criminal incompetence, where they will pretend passions and emotions, both sides. All rise.